scrolls and ink tablets, all here.
Lijiang literally means glazed tile factory, from the kilns that once stood here producing the ceramics used to build the imperial palace. Later on, the kilns were removed, but then the area had attracted printers, booksellers, vendors of paint, paper, inkstones, and so on. Nowadays, many people purchase stationery here, not so much for practical use, but rather as memorabilia or keepsakes. A simple inkstone may cost thousands of RMB, but who knows, perhaps in the future, it'll be worth double that amount. If antiques are your thing and your interests go beyond stationery, then Panda is the place to be. Panda Market is a haven for bargain hunters who want to collect arts and crafts. Secondhand goods, jewelry, antique locks, Ming pottery, communist memorabilia, the more than 3,000 booths make the market more like a celebration than a shopping area. Formerly open just on weekends, now business is 7 days a week. However, Saturdays and Sundays are still the best days to go. And don't forget to bargain for everything. Some people say offer as little as 10 to 25% of what the sellers propose and slowly work your way up. But it's really hard to gauge exactly how much things are worth. So just go according to how much it's worth to you.
Wow, you are bound to be amazed by the number of antiques in this marketplace and also by the number of people. At Panda on the weekends, it opens at 4:30 a.m. And you know what they say about the early bird getting the worm? Here, you need a quick eye and a quick hand to pick out those items that are special. I'm gonna do some shopping.
Bear in mind that not everything may be authentic, and most of us won't be able to tell. In fact, even the dealers themselves may be fooled. But if you're lucky, you just might pick out a fantastic real antique. If not, then you'll be paying for a convincing fake. The market is 100 meters west of the Panda Bridge on the East 3rd Ring Road. It's open from 8:30 a.m. on weekdays and 4:30 a.m. on the weekends.
Wow, you find all sorts of different antiques here, like this box. It's in the shape sort of an arc up here, and that's because this was actually used as a pillow. That's right. And they had a lock here so that you could put your most prized possessions right under your ear. No one could take it away. Not sure if it's comfortable though.
Who knows? You might find that item you thought you never needed, but now can't live without. Antique markets may be where you spend your leisure time, but what did ordinary Beijingers do? Well, they headed to the tea house. Tea constitutes an important part of the long-standing Chinese culture, and tea houses were once scattered far and wide across China. The environment there was cozy, relaxing, and informal. In total, there were 6 types of basic tea houses. The most simple was the outdoors tea house, where passerbys could rest and drink a hearty bowl of tea. Next were the book tea houses, where people could listen to tales told over a series of days. The third type of tea house were music tea houses, with informal musical performances. Fourth were the tea houses that provided tea, alcohol, and some simple dishes. Fifth were the type where craftsmen and artisans could gather to discuss business. And finally were the type of tea houses that were most encompassing. tea houses in a courtyard, providing meals and performances, which were mostly for the elite. No matter what category they fell in, tea houses were never places to sit down politely and sip tea. Instead, it was an exciting, loud place everyone went to. Founded in 1988, Laos Tea House was named after Mr. Lao She, a famous writer. In fact, Tea House was the title of his most famous play. Laos Tea House in Tianmen recreates the typical atmosphere of an old Beijing tea house.
For Beijingers, the ultimate place to relax is without a doubt a good tea house. Here they can chat with friends, they can watch some local performances and just chill. And that's exactly why I'm here today. So, get ready for the show.
Many Beijingers don't just come to the tea house for tea, but rather to watch the performances. And here at Laos Tea House, every night at 7:50 p.m., for almost 2 hours, you can watch folk arts and drama performances while enjoying some famous tea, palace snacks, and a traditional Beijing environment. Tickets to the show start at 40 RMB and go up to as high as 400, depending on seating. The most exciting traditional performances, including acrobatics, music, magic, as well as Beijing opera and kung fu, can all be found. Of all the acts here, I find this one most eccentric. This lady here is performing the candle song, and it's typically performed by women who hold small metal racks with 3 burning candles on top in their mouths. It takes a lot of skill to be able to sing and speak the opera clearly at the same time. And the songs they usually sing are for commoners, so the content is usually extremely hilarious. In the past, the place to see these typical Beijing performances was Tianqiao, or the Bridge to Heaven. It once used to span the famous Dragon Beard Ditch. Ming and Qing emperors had to cross it on their way to the Temple of Heaven, thus giving the bridge its name. The bridge, from which this area takes its name, is long gone. Afterwards, it became a gathering place for artists to tell stories, juggle, and perform traditional opera. Today, these people aren't here anymore, but in honor of their performance, a sculpture has been created devoted to the Tianqiao 8 people who created a sensation with their extraordinary stunts, strange appearance, and bizarre talents. Today, these stunts can no longer be seen on a daily basis, but similar things can be found at the temple fairs in the south on special occasions. You haven't been to Beijing until you've tried Peking duck. And Quanjude is where you get the most authentic duck. This restaurant was established in 1864 during the Qing dynasty. The ducks here are the finest, and its roasting technique is unique, creating thin, crisp skins and fragrant, rich meat. Here, the dishes include different parts of the duck, cooked up in a variety of creations, pleasing to the palate and easy on the eye. The finest ingredients and a series of complicated cooking steps is what draws the world's people to Quanjude. Roast duck was originally an imperial dish, and today, expect to pay a royal price for your meal, around 150 to 200 RMB per person.
That duck looks succulent. Actually, if you come to Beijing, the most important thing to do for your taste buds is come to Quanjude to try the Peking roast duck. And now, this place is like an institution. It's been around for over 140 years and is sort of like the signature restaurant here in the city.
Slicing the meat is an art in itself. A skilled chef is able to cut between 200 and 120 slices in 4 or 5 minutes, each slice with an equal portion of both skin and meat. But if that's too posh for you, you might just want to try some popular Beijing snacks, particularly Lijiang noodles. There are 18 different types of sauces here for your noodles, depending on your taste. It's also quite reasonably priced. The environment here is just as it was in the old days. People sit on square hard chairs around a table, and you can hear the service people bustling around and shouting out orders.
That is a big hearty bowl of noodle. You see, the Beijing fried sauce noodle has a unique and special flavoring here. And at this little restaurant, there's a collection of different types of local Beijing snacks here for you to enjoy. You can see the delicious foods and the environment, and also taste Beijing.
Besides Lijiang noodles, Beijing has a wealth of other local snacks. Different colors, unrecognizable appearances, sweet, salty, or sour, it's all here. In Beijing, there are many different Lijiang noodle stores, but at all of them, expect to spend about 50 RMB a person, and a real local price. South Beijing is a place where different ethnicities mingle in a friendly community. China's Muslims, the Hui minority, are largely located on Ox Street. Here you can find mosques, Muslim restaurants, and people living together in peace and understanding.
Beijing is a city that's both old and new. Old in the sense that there's historical and cultural relics scattered all throughout the city. New in the new face of Beijing, which we'll see more of in the next episode of the Beijing series. I'm Yen, and see you next time.
On the next episode of Travelogue, we strap on our combat boots and take on the urban jungle of Beijing, discovering the new, modern, and cosmopolitan face of an ancient city.